Hey guys, it's me, Mitch Sounds 11 here, and I'm back with another Sakura Angels episode for you guys today. And today we're doing episode 2. So let's get right into this. Hey Siri, start the timer for 1 hour.
1 hour, starting now.
I spot the magic girls in the classroom, casually chatting away with some of the other students. Huh? I didn't think they'd be able to make friends already. Though, after Sayaka's little display earlier, she's probably the talk of the class. Oh, Kenta. Hi there. She gives me a wave and a cheery smile, but I can hardly say I do the same. Oh, yeah. Hi. Look, can we talk? Hmm? Go for it. No, not here. I mean, can we talk somewhere private? Crap. That might have came out weird. I'm getting weird looks from everyone in the class, a few of them breaking into whispers and giggles. Even Sayaka is feigning surprise, despite full well knowing what I mean. Oh my, this is a bit sudden. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Come on, stop messing around. I've been dying to talk to you, both of you, since this morning. Oh God, I made it worse, didn't I? I've somehow turned this into looking like one of the most awkward confessions ever. Are you always this forward with girls you've just met? She giggles, going along with the continued painful, painful stares from the class. Well, if she's going to be like this, I have no choice. This is going to make me look even worse in front of the class, but I need answers. I take a deep breath to steel myself. And then... What? Hey, what are you doing? I grab her by the wrist, pulling her along towards the classroom door, whether she likes it or not. Given what I witnessed before, I'm sure she could have me flat on the floor if she was truly opposed to this. I think she's just messing around at this point, though. You two, come with me. Yeah. Who said you could touch me? With my free hand, I take hold of Hikari's wrist, no doubt cementing myself as some sort of deviant within my class. Thankfully, they both follow along without too much resistance. Ignoring the brunt of Hikari's verbal abuse, I continue on to the doorway. I just have to find somewhere quiet where no one will hear us discuss this magic and monster business. The question is, oof. In all my haste to escape the classroom with both the girls in tow, I crash into someone who was already making their way through the door. They stumble backwards, looking slightly dazed. Thankfully, they don't look hurt. Ah, are you okay? Sorry about that. I offer her an apologetic smile. Who is she again? She must be from my class. I can't recall her name at all, though. It's fine. She speaks in a cold tone, her equally cold eyes locked onto my own in an intense stare that completely betrays her words. Yikes. I guess she had a reason to be annoyed given my my clumsiness, but this is a look of pure hate. Oh, okay then. Confirming she's okay, I continue on with Hikari and Sayaka. They're protesting mostly from Hikari's side, increasing in volume. I can't even begin to imagine what this must look like for people passing by. I'm sure even as I head for the stairs, that girl is still staring at me. Did I do something to annoy her? I mean, besides the clumsiness from today, of course. I can't worry about her for now. I have bigger problems to worry about. Namely, two big problems. One in each hand of mine. Em- Emerging onto the roof, I'm thankful to see it's devoid of life. Safely walled by tall mesh fences, the roof is technically a spot students can spend their break at, but it really isn't that popular. Works for me. Okay, now can you guys explain this whole mess? I release both of their wrists simultaneously. Sayaka bounces happily, completely unbothered, while Hikari, on the other hand, rubs her wrist as if I had assaulted her. Next time, how about you ask before you go grabbing someone like that? You're lucky we're in a public place, or I would have sliced you in two. Oh, this is exciting. Is this gonna be one of those confessions I've heard so much about? Eh? Confession? To who? Both of us? What the heck are they even? I shake my head. This isn't a confession. You know full well what this is about. I can feel my face burning up. It really is exhausting dealing with them. Sayaka gives me a teasing smile before bursting into a giggle. Apparently, this is the funniest thing in the world to her. I know, I know. You want an actual explanation for all of this, don't you? I just couldn't help myself. Thank you. I let out a sigh, my shoulders drooping. Finally. Finally! So, what did you want to know about first? Okay, this should be an obvious one to ask. I asked it before, but only got the vague answer of them being my supposed guardian angels. I'm hoping she feels more generous right now, though. Well, I'm Sayaka, and this is Hikari. Did you forget our names already, silly? I might actually rip my hair out here. I open my mouth to once more say that she knows damn well that's not what I mean. But it seems she's way ahead of me. In all seriousness, I'm not really sure how much I'm allowed to say. We're already bending the rules as it is with showing ourselves to you. I mean, really, this whole thing is a complete disaster. Why did you have to cause us so many problems? Hey, it's not my fault, I think. Just be thankful you're so important to me, or we could have left you to get eaten by that thing. Huh? The realization of what she said slowly dawns on her. It was quite fun to watch her usually grumpy face gradually go red before she stomps in a fluster. I mean, important to us. Us! Smooth. Sayaka giggles and gives her a playful punch on the shoulder. Hmm. Wow. Hikari responds in kind by giving her a wallop to the shoulder with nothing playful about it. Are these two even partners? Anyway, I try my best to keep things on track, though I'm sure it won't be long before it devolves into violence again. I think the most we can tell you is, we're not from around here. Rather, we were sent here specifically to ensure your safety. Do you belong to some sort of group? Wait, are there more of you with these weird powers? Eh? I might have said too much already. She rubs the back of her head with a grin that pretty much says, whoops. I probably won't be able to get any more out of her on this subject. For today, at least. Maybe if I catch her off guard another day, she might let slip more. So, was there anything else you wanted to know? What was that monster? I want to know more about what the heck that thing was that they saved me from earlier. A shadow, I think she called it. I'm guessing there are more of those things lurking out there. Mm-hmm. And they're after me? Well, in this particular case, they are. Though usually they're not so aggressive. But they've always been around, working in the shadows. It's really weird. I've never seen one so brave as to attack someone in broad daylight. It was like something had gotten it really riled up. Or maybe. She falls into thought, leaving Hikari and I to stand awkwardly, exchanging even more awkward glances. Sayaka? She snaps out of her uh, stupor, blinking back to reality. Huh? Oh, sorry. Don't worry, it's nothing. What the heck did I do to annoy these monsters anyway? It's not what you did, it's because of who you are. Who I am? Yeah, your blood. Sayaka! Wow! Okay. Sorry. Sayaka is cut off by a, a near ear-piercing cry from Hikari. Ow. I guess I'll never know now. Hikari seems adamant about keeping this secret. He doesn't need to know any of that. It's better this way. We'll sort out the problem at hand, and then we can finally leave this horrible school. You're no fun. You're right, though. Sorry, Kenta. She gives me an apologetic look. She really sounds sincere, too. Like, she's practically bursting to tell me, but just can't. No use pressing it, I suppose. Maybe one day. So, was there anything else you wanted to know? How long are you going to stay here? This is an important one. Just exactly how long do they plan on staying here to, watch over me? Sayaka pulls a frown at my question, and a genuinely sad-looking one that tugs at my heartstrings. Was it really that bad? It's almost like you don't want us around. Are we that much of a nuisance? Damn it. Why does she have to phrase it like that? That's clearly not what I meant, I think. It's just, as long as they're here, I'm sure there's going to be nothing but trouble in my life. Ah, come on, I didn't mean it like that. Like, she suddenly burst into a bright, beaming smile again, almost blinding me. I know. You're just easy to mess with. I couldn't help myself. This girl. She breaks into a laugh. One, I'm sure can't. I'm sure can't. I. What the fuck? One, I'm sure. I'm sure it can be heard by the entire school from all the way up here. We won't be here long, I promise. Just until we've sorted things out. My gosh. I guess you can't tell me what needs to be sorted out. She puts her a finger to her nose and winks. I thought so. Top secret and all that. But we're in the process of figuring this whole mess out. It shouldn't take long. Maybe a couple of days? A week? A week at the most. A week? If it was up to me, we'd be gone by tomorrow. I hate this place. It's so noisy. Well, if somebody was more useful and helped me instead of just complaining all the time, we might get things done quicker. Whoa, she said that without her smile faltering one bit, her tone just as cheery despite the biting words. That's kind of scary. Even Hikari has no argument against that, those words causing her to fall silent as she shrinks back from her deceptively bright partner. Uh, Moving on. So, was there anything else you wanted to know? That's all for now. I guess that's all we have time for now. I think the bell for the second half is about to... Yep, there it is. Oh? Time to go back now, is it? She stretches her arms into the air, giving a small yawn. Well, I hope we were able to clear things up a little. Something like that. Come on. We don't want to be late. Sayaka bounds for the stairs as if we were in some sort of race, her partner trailing behind as she gives me one last look. She stops, her eyes cast downward for a moment before flickering back up. Hey, what's up? Nothing. It's nothing. And like that, she disappears down the stairs too, leaving me alone on the roof. And that is a tsundere. Huh. I wonder what that was about. I guess I should follow after them. I don't want to be late again. As I start for the stairs, my stomach makes a terrifying sound. One that screams for food. Oh, right. In all my haste to figure out what the girls were doing, I neglected to eat any lunch at all. Ah. And so, classes resume. After all the initial excitement in the morning, not a lot happens throughout the remaining lessons. They drag on at a glacial pace, somehow even more dull than usual. It's also hard to keep my mind focused on anything with Sayaka and Hikari on each side. There to protect me. I was half expecting a monster to just burst its way through the window and for the whole place to just turn into a battleground. Though, I might have at least made things more lively. With one final ring of the bell, school comes to a close, a hazy amber glow taking over the classroom as the sun begins to set. The majority of the students begin to filter out of the class to start their clubs or part-time jobs. Not me though. I'm off. I'm off home. While joining a club is certainly encouraged, thankfully this isn't a place where it's enforced, meaning I'm free to loaf all I want. It might make me come across as a bit of a slacker in the eyes of the other students, but they're not exactly wrong. Wasting no time, I set out of the school and began to head home. Something that should have been fairly stress-free, but I should have expected this, but it's still a bit much. The horizon grows darker with each step I make through the quiet streets, a pale moon slowly making its presence known in the sky. Thud, thud, thud. My heavy steps resound down the narrow road, quickly swallowed into the night. But there's also another set of steps, or rather, two sets of steps that sound to either side of me. Far lighter steps with far more grace than I could ever hope to achieve. Look, I know you're here to protect me, but do you really need to be so close? Yes. Those steps belong to none other than my self-professed guardian angels. Sayaka to my left and Hikari to my right. They practically walk in unison with me, their shoulders inches away from mine. Don't be stupid. Walking home alone at night would be the perfect time for the enemy to strike. This is where we have to stay on our guard the most. Yikes. She doesn't have to yell so loud right into my ear like that. I think I might be just a little bit deafer just from spending time with her today alone. Do you think I like having to be this close to you? You should be grateful I'm doing this at all. Another humph and a turn of her head, her vibrant hair swaying gently. Right, right. Sorry. Ah, don't be like that, Hikari. Don't think I don't catch you sneaking glances at his face while he's looking elsewhere. As she walks, Sayaka leans across me to smirk at Hikari. This is getting really awkward, guys. Eh? You saw? I was just checking the enemy hadn't landed a stealth attack on him. Sure, whatever you say. My left ear is rocked by a mischievous giggle as Sayaka breaks into hysterics. All the while, Hikari's face begins to turn an interesting shade of red. Anyway, you're the one who keeps pressing your shoulder up against him. What are you trying to do? Huh? She was doing that? Now that she mentions it, the left side did feel cozier for a time. Hmm? I was just trying to keep him warm. See, I care for his well-being and wouldn't want him to catch a cold. And he is not complaining, so he must like it. Without warning, she latches onto my arm, pulling herself in and almost sending me toppling to the ground. See? Hey now, this is... What are you doing? You're going to tear his arm off. You have to do it more gently, like this. Eh? Hikari latches on to my other arm, hooking it with hers in an attempt to hug me away from Sayaka. What the heck did this turn into? Girls, you really don't need to... Hmm? No, that isn't how you do it at all, Hikari. It's more like... Sayaka pulls back on my arm, and soon they both have a firm grip of each of my arms, determination across their faces as I become some sort of human rope. What is this, tug of war? They're going to rip me apart. Ha! Please! This is how it's done. Do they even remember what they were trying to do? What started innocently enough has now spurred into some sort of contest between them. They really are competitive. Ow! Now's not the time to think about stuff like that. Can you please get off of me? Raising my voice more than I've ever done in a while, I explode uh, my body at stake here. And like that, they both let go of my arms at once, leaving me free to ensure they're both still fully intact. I'm glad they listened to reason. I really thought I was going to die there. Apparently, it's not the monsters I have to worry about anymore. It's these two. Girls. At least I had thought it had been my desperate cry that had gotten through to them. But they seem completely transfixed by something up above. What are they looking at? I squint my eyes and gaze high above the rooftops. And then, as the clouds part and the pale moonlight shines down, I see her. A girl sits on the ledge of the highest point of one of the tallest buildings in the area. Silver hair that seems to glimmer in the moonlight, and an outfit as dark as the night sky. She gives off an awe-inspiring look, almost angelic, like she's some sort of angel gazing down from the heavens. At least I would call her an angel if it wasn't for that unsettling grin that just now spread across her face at the sight of us. Ah, there you are. She murmurs something to herself that I can't make out at all from the distance between us. Whatever it was she said, it was enough to make her shoulders shake with laughter. I can't help but feel like I've seen her somewhere before. I wonder why that is. No matter how hard I try to think back, I can't recall her face at all, though. In a burst of feathers, obsidian wings unfurl from behind her. Now, those definitely aren't holy. I've got a bad feeling about this. Amber eyes peer down at the three of us, narrowed in determination as the same unsettling grin remains. It might just be my imagination, but I think she's looking at me specifically. I can almost feel her stare. It's enough to send a chill down my spine, and sparks a faint pulse at the back of my skull. Uh, a friend of yours? I force out a laugh, though I know the truth. The air is growing tense, like that time with the monster before, and the looks on both Hikari's and Sayaka's faces can only suggest something bad is about to go down. Ha! Afraid not. Kenta, get back. I don't like this at all. But, okay. I do as I'm told and retreat back a good distance, not really wanting to argue when they look as scary as they do. So, what do you think we're dealing with here? She seems far too human to be a shadow. But then I get the same feeling of dread from her inner presence. Ah, gotcha. I think. Wait. So is she a monster or not? That's what I'm trying to figure out. If you would stop yelling in my ear for 1 second and let me concentrate. I'm not yelling! Sheesh. Right. I forgot. That's your default volume. Well then, just be quiet and let me think things over. You're so cruel sometimes, Hikari. The silver-haired girl, still high atop the roof, gives me one last look before turning her gaze to the girls. And then she jumps. What? Why did she jump? I can barely watch. She plummets downwards towards the where my guardians are stood. No hint of even beginning to slow down. Are those wings just for show? Faster and faster she descends, before finally the pavement closes in. I don't want to watch, but somehow I get the feeling she wouldn't have jumped without a good reason. At least I hope she didn't. Mere inches from smashing into the ground, her wings spread wide as if brakes, before bringing her to a sudden stop. Not even a gradual halt. She just comes to a complete grinding halt, as if the laws of gravity don't apply to her. Even with wings, something like that shouldn't be possible. I mean, if a pigeon were to attempt something like that, they'd barely be recognizable on the pavement right now. In fact, her feet aren't even touching the ground. She hovers above ever so slightly, before stepping onto the solid surface, as if stepping off of an invisible platform. Part of me is relieved that she isn't hurt from that little stunt. But then part of me is also terrified as to what might happen next. The silver-haired girl stands before Hikari and Sayaka, her expression still as unsettling as ever. Despite the smile, though, there's nothing in her posture that would suggest she has any bad intentions. Yet the other two girls are tense. My head rings just trying to focus on her, like that monster from before. Is she related to them? I clutch my hand to my head and try to steady myself. It's taken all of my willpower just to keep up or upright at the moment. Good evening, girls. She greets them so casually despite the intense glares directed her way. Somehow, I get the feeling she didn't leap off a freaking roof just to exchange pleasantries. Let's cut to the chase, shall we? Who are you and what do you want? My, you're a hostile bunch, aren't you? She lets out a devious giggle, doing little to ease the tension in the air. Very well. You may call me Yuzuki. As for what I am after, well, her eyes lifted from the girls and settled straight onto me, her smile enough to send a chill down my spine. I'll be taking the boy, if you don't mind. See, he's very important to me. I knew it. Of course she would be linked to this whole mess. Why wouldn't she be? Today is the day where everything apparently wants me dead. Sayaka and Hikari refuse to comply. I mean, of course they wouldn't. They wouldn't be very good guardian angels if they had just stepped aside for this maniacal girl. No? I suppose we have to do things the hard way, hmm? The pair stand tall before me, their fists tightened. I think there only a one way I think there's only one way this is going to end up. The air around them seems to crackle. The amount of power contained uh, within them all immense. I'm afraid to even take in a breath, in case I set something off. This is dangerous. Even I can see that. I blink and Yuzuki lunges at for them in a flash, with a scythe seemingly torn out from the air itself. Wah! Sparks fly from the collision of metal against metal. Hikari was just barely able to react in time, changing her outfit in a flash and blocking the blow with her sword. If she had been any slower there, they might not have had their heads still. I knew it. You're just a puppet for her. She speaks through gritted teeth, pushing with all her might to try and keep the scythe at bay as it draws ever closer. It seems like a fight that she might lose, though, as the silver-haired girl presses on without even so much as a bead of sweat on her brow. Sayaka, feel free to help anytime. Huh? Oh, right. Losing ground quite rapidly, her feet beginning to slide back from the force. Hikari barks at her partner, who had just about recovered from the shock of the airstrike. They really are in trouble here, and all I can do is stand gawking. I know for sure if I go anywhere near them, I'll be torn apart. That is a fight on a completely different level than me. There's another blinding flash as Sayaka transforms herself, wielding the same bow I had seen her use this morning. She dashes back a little from the clashing girls and preps her bow, pulling back the string. I was about to wonder just where the arrow was, but one seems to just blink into reality, already fully knocked into the bow. She lets the magical arrow fly, her target obvious. Caught up in the clash, Yuzuki has no choice but to pull away from Hikari. She kicks back gracefully, the arrow just inches away from her, grazing her cheek. About time! Hikari heaves a sigh of relief as she eases her shoulders, finally able to rest, if only for a moment. The fight is clearly far from over. The girls regroup and ready themselves, their mysterious opponent now going over them with her unsettling cold eyes. Be careful, Sayaka. She's strong. I was just barely able to hold her back there. Sayaka nods, a look of determination painting her face that I wasn't even aware she was capable of. Taking just a moment to analyze the situation, the dark girl closes in again for a second round. Huh? Is this all you've got? This is going to be far easier than I imagined. Ah, this is so much fun. And here I thought this boy's little guardians might have actually been a threat. Silly me. Shut up! This isn't over yet. She twirls her scythe with ease and swipes at the pair with the same maniacal expression. Each strike is either just barely dodged by the girls or just about deflected by Hikari's desperate counterattacks. This is a completely one-sided fight. If that wasn't already clear from the moment this girl I had made her first move, she's able to take both of them on with no problem, blocking whatever attack Hikari might be able to muster in her position, and chasing after Sayaka whenever she attempts to make some distance between them for her bow. Fine, let's see if you can dodge at this speed. Whoa, you're moving so fast now, my eyes can hardly keep up with it at all. Will keep up with it all. The action eventually just turning to colorful blurs as the fight drags on. Battle cries and the clash of steel filling the air. The street around them is becoming completely wrecked. Lampposts are split into. Parked cars are being sent flying, and even chunks of the road itself are being chipped away every time they collide together. Without warning, the intense speed grinds to a halt. Sayaka is suddenly sent tumbling to the ground, Hikari surely following as the silver-haired girl stands triumphant, not a single scratch upon her. Wah! Oof. They end up tangled in a heap together, both of them fairly dazed. Thankfully, they don't seem to hurt, but they certainly each have their fair share of bruises. Are you guys alright? Unable to keep myself from cowering any longer, I call out to them, taking a step towards the carnage. I freeze up completely as the silver-haired girl's hollow eyes flutter onto me. Her gaze is frightening, paralyzing. She came here for me, just like that monster did before. Do I have a sign on my back that says "kill me" or something? What are you doing, you idiot? Stay away! We're uh, we're fine. Hikari rouses me to my senses with her harsh cry. It's a bit hard to believe she's fine when she is completely tangled up with her partner, though. They're both flailing helplessly in an effort to get up. Is this my leg or your leg? I can't tell. Ow! Well, don't hit it. That doesn't solve anything. Oh, so it was your leg. Okay, I get it. So why are you still hitting it? Just get off of me. You're so heavy. Heavy? Me? Yes, you. If you weren't such a glutton, maybe we wouldn't be in this situation. It's not my fault I like to eat. I think you're just jealous I can eat tons and get away with it. I've seen what happens when you pig out, Hikari. It's like you triple in size. Excuse me? You're lucky I can't reach my sword right now, or I would... Ow! Did you just bite me? You can't prove anything. You're such a savage. This is a complete disaster. With my supposed guardians still trying to sort themselves out, I'm left helpless as Yuzuki advances towards me. She takes slow, deliberate steps, almost as if she was enjoying the sheer look of terror across my face. Now that they're out of the way, let's have a little fun, shall we? Thump, thump, thump. My heart is going to rip out of my chest at this rate. I should run, but I can't. Why can't I run? My body isn't listening to anything I tell it at all. The distance between us is almost gone. Is she going to kill me? Why me? What did I ever do to deserve this? I mean, as far as I know, I have lived a normal, peaceful life. The closer she gets, the more vivid my headache becomes. The air around me is heavy, suffocating. Even though the simple act of taking in a breath is becoming too much for me in this state. Her amber eyes narrow. She tightens her grip on her scythe. What? Why are you? Oh, it's nothing personal. This is just the way things have to be if I ever want to get my life back on track. Now, say goodnight. She lashes at me like lightning, a clear intent to kill. I can't even lift my arms to try and defend myself. It's over. Right before the wicked blade comes into contact with me, a bright bolt of what I can only assume is magic whizzes in from the side and catches the girl off guard, knocking her off balance and prolonging my life for just a little while longer. Looking back over at what is once a disaster zone, it appears that Hikari and Sayaka are finally back on their feet. Sayaka has her hand outstretched, plumes of smoke rising from the tips of her fingers. I guess I owe her one here. That was too close. I think it's time for a tactical retreat. Wouldn't you agree? Eh? Are we really just going to run? I can still fight. Oh, shush. You can barely stand. Come on. While our opponent is still reeling from the attack, my saviors take this opportunity to dash toward me, each of them hooking an arm around me as their weapons shatter into crystals and begin reforming into familiar wings upon their backs. Wait, what are you guys doing? Hold on tight, okay? Before I can protest any further, they both kick off the ground and we begin to ascend up into the air. We're flying. We're actually flying. What? Hey, no, put me down. Can't we just run? Quit thrashing about, or we're going to drop you, you idiot. I will do no such thing. This is insane. Oof. I think I'm going to puke. Hey, don't you dare, or I'll make you wish you were still back down there with that freak of a girl. We continued to trail through the sky, bursting through the clouds as if it were nothing. The winds roaring past me in the glimmering city lights below, the turbulence from being carried by the pair. It's all so nauseating. I really don't know if I can stand much more of this. Do you think we lost her? Slowing to a gentle hover, and keeping me firmly in their grip, I hope at least. They throw a glance over their shoulders, only just now being able to catch her breath. I think so. I can't believe we had to flee. Hey, we didn't flee, okay? It was a tactical retreat. Ugh, call it whatever you want, but we were lucky to keep our heads intact back then. Silence takes over, and the pair as they fall into thought. So, huh? Kenta? Oh, I almost forgot about you. Sorry. That's a bit worrying, considering you're the only one keeping me from falling to a painful and gruesome death. You're not hurt, are you? No, no, I'm fine. Just, can you maybe, oh, I don't know, put me down now? Right, right. I think it's safe now. Down we go. We begin to descend from out of the clouds, but it isn't long before my feet finally come into contact with the ground again. This the safe, wonderful ground. I have to restrain myself from wanting to kiss it. I collapse onto my knees, my stomach heaving. Never again. Flying just isn't for me. You okay there? Sayaka gives me a solid pat on the back, which does little in the way of helping my stomach. Don't. Hmm? I can barely keep my words out after such a traumatic experience. I take in a deep breath and try again. Don't ever do that again. At least without asking if it's okay first. It was an emergency, you wimp. Hikari takes her turn to pat me on the back. Though it's more of a thump than anything, like a punch. Oof. Do you think I enjoyed having to hold onto you for that long? Okay, okay, I get it. Just no more patting. Er, Sayaka circles around and bends forward to look at me, concern across her face. Whoa, I don't think I've ever seen someone's face go so green before. Not a big fan of flying, I guess. Whatever whatever gave you that idea? I take a moment before finally straightening myself up. Okay, I think I'm good now. While I was recovering, it looks like Sayaka and Hikari were keeping guard, watching deep into the night for any signs of life. But it looks like they weren't bothered enough to pursue. Weird. Okay, so I know all I've pretty I know all I've pretty much done is ask you guys questions since we've met. But if you're wondering who that creepy girl is, I honestly have no idea. Are you sure? She looks like one of you. You know, with the magical outfit and the wings. Whoops. I might have said said the wrong thing here. They both turn to me, fire in their eyes. Even Sayaka, who I thought was pretty easygoing, seems angry at me here. Did you just compare us to that thing? I didn't mean to. There's a world of difference between us. And whatever the heck she was, for one, did you not see her eyes? She's completely insane. There wasn't a hint of sanity left. Hikari wraps her arms around herself to fight off a shiver. Just thinking about her creeps me out. I guess looking at it from your perspective, Kenta, she might seem the same as us. With her general look and how her magic seems to work, but everything about her is twisted. The dark shades, the black wings, even those horns. It's like they set out to become the complete opposite of what we are. Nothing about her power seems natural either. And your power is? Of course! We worked hard to get to where we are today, you know? It's not like we were just born like this. With her, though, it's like it was just She falls silent, deep in thought. Man, I really don't get any of this. All I know is that apparently those monsters aren't the only thing I have to fear now. Apparently done thinking, Sayaka snaps back into reality and grins. I think we've had enough excitement for one day. Anyway, how about we get you home now? She reaches out to take a hold of my arm, but I'm one step ahead and jump back. I can barely tell what she had in mind. No more flying. We'll walk, okay? Walk. Ah, if you're sure. It's much safer in the skies, though. Like hell it is. I was lucky I didn't have a heart attack when they were dragging me through the clouds like that. Completely shattered, uh, completely shattered after all the events of today, we start the journey back home. It isn't long before we arrive back at my house, and I can happily say we ran into no more monsters or crazy scythe-wielding girls along the way. I can't believe I even have to take them into consideration now. What has my life become? Reaching the front door of my house, however, I'm posed with a problem. These two girls insist on protecting me, and we're just about to follow me straight into my house before I realize they were still there. Somehow, I get the idea my parents might be opposed to me bringing in two complete strangers, girls at that. Plus, that would just lead to a whole new line of questions for them, and I'd rather not get them involved into this mess too. So it took a while and a lot of negotiating, and I really mean a lot. I was pretty much on my knees at one point, but I was able to persuade them that I would be perfectly safe in my house. They finally withdrew for the night, giving me some much needed room to breathe. They did say they wouldn't be too far away, though if I ever needed them, and that worries me. I closed the front door and almost collapsed against it with a drawn out sigh. Any borrowed strength I might have had up until this point draining from me completely. What a day. My head aches. My arms throb. My legs feel like they're about to give way. I can't believe I'm even still standing after all that. The smell of food is heavy in the air, the aroma enough to make my mouth water. Oh, right. I think I had forgotten to eat today. I should probably fix that if I want any chance in surviving what tomorrow might bring me. Apparently, I'm just in time as the food is all set on the table, with my parents about to dig in. This short window of time in the evening is really the only chance I ever get to see my parents outside of the holidays. So I usually cherish these dinners and try to engage with them as best I can. But today, I can hardly even get a word out. I sort of just grunt in their direction before I collapse into the dining chair. As the meal goes on, the usual questions come up between us, such as how our days had went and if I had been up to much. Huh. Despite looking completely shattered, I say it was just like any other day. I get concerned looks, but they don't have any reason to doubt me. Before long, dinner is finished, and after several extra helpings, I can't think of anything better to do than call it an early night. I make myself excused and head for my room, my steps unsteady. I drop onto my bed face first, the mattress giving out a groan. Hmm. It can't be any later than 9 p.m. and already I want to sleep. Is every day going to be like this from here on out? I hope not. Okay, guys. Well, um, I hope you guys enjoyed this. So make sure you guys put a like, subscribe, dingle the bell notification icon, and I'll see all of you guys on the next one.